A big update today. The Food and Drug Administration is now stepping back from an earlier statement that indicated the presence of cyclospora in Taylor Farm supplied iceberg lettuce. The FDA now says the detection it reported over the weekend was a false positive and the parasite has not been identified in test samples to this point. Taylor Farms says the agency has apologized. This comes after the company voluntarily recalled its iceberg lettuce grown in central Mexico amid a cyclospora outbreak. Taylor Farms is a major supplier of lettuce to retailers and restaurants, including Taco Bell. Testing continues on other samples of Taylor Farms supplied lettuce. Now, the cyclospora parasite can cause a potentially weeks-long illness with explosive diarrhea. It's just awful. According to the CDC, there have been nearly 7,000 cases that have either been confirmed or are under investigation.